And look, I could go on and on and on. I've lost a couple of pages down here, and I've got so much stuff outlined. I've talked enough. I got to get out of here. And I know everybody else has got places they've got to go to. But already, John Deere in Iowa, it's going to cost them $150 million just this year in added healthcare expenses. Caterpillar, $150 million cost after taxes just this year already on them. AT&T, the first quarter, it's added $1 billion in new expenses to AT&T. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I've already talked to a lot of doctors here in town, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't want people to run and grab their chart from these doctors and run away from their offices. But we're going to lose a lot of doctors, folks. Older doctors, let's say that are 55 and older and are out of debt, can move on and do something else. The ones that I'm talking to are saying that's what they're going to do. They're not going to work under a socialized system like this and be told everything they can and cannot do in order to take care of people. And that's what it's going to boil down to. That's exactly what it's going to boil down to. We've got a 45,000 doctor shortage right now. That number's going to go way up if this thing is fully implemented. The other thing that's going to happen is what's already happening overseas. I believe it was in the island of Tahiti. I had a friend of mine who is from that area of the world who came here and said that there's a group of physicians, cardiovascular surgeons from the United States that went there, bought out a 5-star hotel, gutted it, put in state-of-the-art surgical facilities, state-of-the-art rehab, CTs, MRIs, everything they need. For $10,000 cash, you can get on an airplane, they'll fly you over, do your heart surgery, treat you like a king while you're there, do your rehab for, 3-4 weeks, pack you up, send you home with a year's worth of medicine for $10,000 cash. That's what's going to happen here. We're going to start seeing hospitals being built by physicians right outside the borders of the United States, in Mexico, in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean islands, the Grand Cayman Islands, where there are no taxes. And they will be state-of-the-art facilities, and if you want to fly down there or get on a cruise ship and go there, they'll do your surgery and take care of it and then let you go home. Now, a bypass surgery here in the United States right now is extremely expensive.
Did I turn it on?
I know for a fact I have talked to a cardiovascular surgeon here in town who was doing straight Medicare bypass surgeries after he paid his overhead expenses, after he paid his malpractice insurance. All of his expenses came out after taxes, what he took home for a straight Medicare reimbursed surgery on a bypass, $200. Wow. Didn't matter if that person had been in the hospital for 5 days or 50 days. That's what he made. Folks, people who are nearly 40 years old when they get through with residency training, medical school and residency training, who have your life in their hands, I think they deserve a little more than $150 or $200 taken home when they've got your chest split wide open. And I'll tell you one thing that is not in this bill: tort reform. It's not there. It is not there. I was going to work for a local ER and got my privileges and everything set up. I was going to do some ER time. And my malpractice premiums, I've never been sued, never had a complaint. I've got a clean slate. My malpractice premiums for covering this rural ER were going to be so high that it was basically going to eat up everything they were going to pay me per hour in pay. And they are having a hard time getting doctors to staff these small rural ERs right now because of that. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the effort that it takes to go and do that. We're going to see a much bigger strain on our healthcare system than any of us could ever possibly imagine. People, I'm going to tell you what. If I'm remembering my American history right, in the 1830s, the cry was, "Remember the Alamo." 1941, after Pearl Harbor, December 7th, it was "Remember Pearl Harbor." Well, today, we've got one. Remember in November. Let's vote these bums out. God bless America.